frailty. What is desire? Diamonds. They say a life lived without passion is hardly worth living.
Ma'am? Ma'am? Ma'am?
Dang, this one made me feel all special.
What is glamour? Frailty. What is desire? Diamonds. They say a life lived without passion is hardly worth living.
Ma'am? Ma'am? Ma'am?
Dang, this one made me feel all special.
High school sports are back. The 2018-19 season kicks off, and you could watch every ProView Network broadcast live on the NFHS network. Every moment, from every game, from every sport, including all NMAA state championships. Get your highly discounted monthly pass now. Go to ProViewNetworks.com and sign up. Watch New Mexico's best.
The service department at Gala Chevrolet is clean, modern, and ready for you. Our master technicians service every make and model, including certified service on any GM vehicle. Service done right the first time, every time, right here at the all-new Gala Chevrolet.
Car Crafters, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Welcome to the ABQ show. We're here live at Dreamstyle Arena, the Pit, and we have just an extra special guest here with us today, the president of the Navajo Nation, the Honorable Jonathan Nez. Mr. President,
hey,
welcome.
Wally.
And great to see you here in Albuquerque.
Yeah, thanks for having us, and thanks for having a little part of our Navajo Nation with you all today in the stadium. And you know, we're looking forward to all the games that are happening here at the Pit for the next couple of days. I know that we have, right now we got Newcomb Skyhawks playing the Mesilla Valley. And so that's an exciting game, and we followed these young men, these student athletes all the way from Newcomb, a great season, and it comes down to the postseason. It comes down to the state tournament, and so it's great to be a part of this big celebration here.
Well, I really appreciate you, and we won't take it too long because I know you did not come to talk to me. You came to watch the game, but just tell us a little bit. You know, I view the state tournament as almost like a family reunion for
absolutely.
the big family of basketball. And, you know, basketball is so important on the Navajo Nation. It's such a huge part and high quality. Just what are some of your thoughts on that?
Yeah, you know, Navajo Nation, all tribal communities, we love our basketball. And, you know, those that are watching from the Navajo Nation, and, you know, I just wanted to say in our Navajo language, too, that we appreciate the support that the Navajo Nation has had for our student athletes all these years. You know, we just coming out of the Arizona State Tournament as well, and now into New Mexico. We had this big snow last month, you know, that came through 2 to 3 feet of snow in our areas, and I wasn't able to go to the state tournament there in Phoenix, but, you know, we made time to come out here and watch the student athletes. We got our own Navajo and Native American students that are going to be playing here. Santa Fe Indian School is going to be playing in the semifinals, both boys and the girls.
Yes.
And then we have Kirtland Central, one of our neighboring communities with a lot of our Native American students going to school there as well. So, but it's all about our student athletes here and postseason tournament play. You know, it brings out our families. I see a lot of families coming out, and this is what you know, we've been trying to reinstill on our nation. There is you know, get out with your family, and in times like this, just enjoy an old-fashioned basketball game and enjoy family time. You know, and turn off your cell phones and everything else, technology, and just come together and watch some old-fashioned basketball.
All right. Well, and I know you want to get to the game. Before you go, are there any thoughts that you have for people here in Albuquerque, across New Mexico, in terms of what's going on in the Navajo Nation, or what's important that you think we ought to know about?
Well, one thing I just want to say that we appreciate the support from our governor here in the state of New Mexico, Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham, as well as our state legislatures. They just got done with the session, and a lot of bills went to the governor. A lot of those supporting Navajo projects, and we appreciate that. And just like I have been saying all along, you know, a strong tribal nation is a strong state in New Mexico, and we look forward to that continued partnership with the good folks that live throughout the state of New Mexico. And one of those is to bolster and encourage and to support equal opportunities and education throughout the state of New Mexico, not just for Native American students or people of color, but for all our citizens here in the state of New Mexico. So we look forward to that continued dialogue, and we just want to say thank you to everyone out there for their support. We just came off a 150th anniversary, the commemoration of our long walk last year. We're on 151 now, 151 years ago since the signing of our treaty. And, you know, with Mayor Keller here in Albuquerque, he signed a resolution that says, you know, tribal nations are important, and they respect that nation to nation or that government dialogue on a lot of the services that are in this great state or in this great city of Albuquerque. So it's happening throughout the state of New Mexico. We look forward to the continuation of a great partnership into the future. So thank you.
Thank you very much, and I will let you get the game. We really appreciate you coming on the ABQ show, and good luck.
All right, thank you, sir.
You.
Car Crafters, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Are you sure we're supposed to be doing this?
Don't worry, I've watched him do it 1,000 times. Come on, what's the worst that can happen?
No! Bad dog!
Hi, welcome to Car Crafters. What happened? Don't worry, we'll make it like it never happened.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
Dreamstyle Remodeling has been wowing homeowners in New Mexico since 1989. Selected as Best Custom Home Remodeler for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Albuquerque Journal, we're also your exclusive provider for top home improvement brands like Renewal by Anderson, Four Seasons, Blaze King, and many others. Founded and headquartered in Albuquerque, Dreamstyle Remodeling is family-owned and now employs more than 500 people across the southwestern U.S. In fact, we've helped more than 60,000 homeowners improve their home in New Mexico.
Welcome back to the ABQ show live from Dreamstyle Arena, a.k.a. The Pit.
The Pit.
We have a guest with us today, my good friend Dennis Garcia. He's the chairman of the Albuquerque Hispano Chamber of Commerce, and also one of the most knowledgeable and engaging bankers I know. You know, bankers, you get a bad reputation like old CPAs. So great to have you here, Dennis.
It's good to be here, Wally, and I'm just going to hang out with you for accolades the rest of the day if you don't mind.
All right, well, Dennis, you know, this state tournament really is the family reunion. I know you grew up in Santa Fe, and the Demons will be playing Friday night late, and so
looking forward to it.
Okay, so I wanted to talk to you before we get into too many details about the Hispano Chamber. Tell us about your athletic career at Santa Fe High.
It's a short story.
Okay, let's hear it.
There were none. I was the only guy who got cut off his high school tennis team 4 years in a row.
Okay.
So that was the extent of it.
That was it.
That was it. I didn't do anything till college. Okay,
well, ladies and gentlemen, that's why Dennis, I think, has been so successful. He's been a man of commerce, it sounds like, since 10th grade. But, you know, tell us about your role as chairman of the Hispano Chamber. I know it's a great business organization here. And for those of you who aren't familiar, the chairman is the business person volunteer on the outside, but you really do set the tone. And tell us what are some of your initiatives for the chamber this coming year?
Well, thanks for that, Wally. And it's truly an honor to be the chair of the Albuquerque Hispano Chamber. What a lot of folks don't know is this organization is 43 years old.
Wow.
Incorporated back in 1975, kind of when I graduated from high school.
Yeah.
So it's been around a long time. Its primary purpose is to help both Hispanic small businesses and really minority-owned and all small business enterprises in Albuquerque. So we may be called the Hispano Chamber, but we're really out to include and help commerce in general in the Albuquerque area. If you're looking for some of my initiatives, some of them are internal. We have a really amazing board, about 35 people on the board at the current time. They come from all walks of life, every business aspect in Albuquerque is represented. And trying to get us to talk more to each other,
yes,
I think can do a lot to create some more opportunity and commerce even within the chamber itself. So one of the things we're trying to do is get everybody more connected with each other on the board, spend a little bit more time getting to know each other, figure out where we could create some commonality and some new enterprises out of that particular effort.
Well, that's very interesting, because it seems like in this world of ours, the more things go to technology, actually the more important, not the less important, these relationships are in terms of making things really happen. So
you're absolutely right. I mean, you and I would have never met had it not been for an organization called Leadership New Mexico.
Exactly.
Right? And since then, we've probably talked on 5 or 6 different opportunities and brought other people into, as you said, more of a network of folks that we can rely on to do things in a greater way. So that's really one of the things we're focusing on at the chamber. The second is, how do we create commonality within the city? So there's a lot of conversation going on with AED as an example. How can the chamber and AED work closer together? As an example, as they bring in new businesses, getting them introduced to our membership, so that those new businesses, whether it's Facebook or the couple that have come in recently, have a pool of vendors that they can immediately go to start staffing and or supplying their organizations. So it's a win-win there.
Yes.
And it helps those new organizations, so they're not searching around trying to figure out who do I do business with.
Right.
We're immediately there to try to help them. So that's a huge effort as far as we're concerned.
No, that's fantastic. And you are a really hands-on person. A lot of times chairmen of these organizations know very little about their organizations on the detail, but just what are some of the programs the chamber does that you think are particularly meaningful in terms of the business community and your involvement with that?
That's a great question, Wally. And what we're trying to do as chambers evolved over this last 10 or 15 years, right? There used to be a method by which folks could come and network. That was the primary purpose. You can network on social media all day long now. So what we're looking at and what we've done over the last several years is create partnerships with other organizations around town to help in the training of the various business aspects that a business may be going through. So, example, we've got an arrangement with Catholic Charities. They do a huge amount of training, and one of their primary programs is, Spanish as a second language.
Right.
So we're helping folks understand, it's a dual language world.
Right.
You need to understand English as much as Spanish. And by working with Catholic Charities, we don't have to reinvent the curriculum. It's there. We can use it and bring people both to the chamber, but utilizing the service of Catholic Charities. That's one of them.
Well, that's very interesting. I have some business international with some projects in Mexico, and there's a difference between Spanish and Spanglish, right? They respect the Spanish in terms of things going out more. So, yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, to that end, the Etrisco Heritage Foundation, we've partnered with them to create a professional development curriculum.
Mm-hmm.
So this is open to membership, our members, and they can send anybody from their organizations, but you're talking conflict resolution, time management, harassment in the workplace, all of those common elements that a business faces. We've got a method by which we can provide some training to the staff and help those smaller businesses that can't pour the dollars into internal training opportunities. We've got that for them.
Yeah.
Again, in concert with the Etrisco Heritage Group. So look at what's around in the business community today. How do we partner and make it better for everybody?
Okay. Now, you guys really are the go-to organization for small business, and it's interesting, the issues that really impact politically, regulatorily, tax policy-wise, small businesses are not always the ones that impact big businesses. And I know you guys have some more political policies. What are some of the issues that you're looking at in that area, things that that the state needs to be careful of if they want to keep the small business community growing and thriving here in our state?
Well, I'm not going to make a comment one way or the other on the either right to work legislation and or some of the minimum wage stuff that we saw, but the representatives and the folks that are looking at public policy need to be careful in how they handle some of those decisions.
Right.
They have a direct impact on businesses locally. And if we make it too expensive to do business here, people will find another alternative,
yes,
as we've already seen. So that is one of the areas that we're just trying to be sensitive to and helping the policymakers understand the true impact to a small business.
All right. Well, that's it for this segment. We will come back with one more segment with Dennis Garcia. We are here live at the pit. Jason, we'll go to break and we'll do one more segment with Dennis. And while we do that, we're going to turn around and catch just a second of the game. We'll be back in just a minute. You're watching the ABQ show.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot. It's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Sports Network. Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Folks, there's no other way but to be all in. Either he's Lord of all or he is not Lord at all. And you can experience the real and authentic, true life change that only God can provide to humanity. See, when we truly encounter Jesus and purpose to know him and follow his teachings, hashtag life change will occur.
Get into the game with Garden Swartz Team Sales. They have everything you need, from screen printing, embroidery, and digital printing services, high school letterman jackets, and all high school and club uniforms and individual and team apparel with the most reliable brands like Speedline, Rollins, and Wilson. And don't forget to check out the latest F7 Shut helmet. It's all at Garden Swartz Team Sales. Give them a call, 505-884-1234. Garden Swartz Team Sales.
Is this my car?
State Farm knows that for every one of those moments,
This is ridiculous!
there's one of these.
Is this my car? What? This is ridiculous.
This can't be happening!
This can't be happening.
Oh, it's happening, sweetheart.
Oh, it's happening, sweetheart.
Shut up.
Shut up!
That's why State Farm is there, with car insurance for when things go wrong, but also here with car loans to help life go right. State Farm.
Talk to State Farm agent Marty Size or Michelle Rudolph in Albuquerque today.
Welcome back to the ABQ show. Wally Drangmeister with my good friend Dennis Garcia, chairman of the Albuquerque Hispano Chamber. Dennis, when we went to the break a little, you were talking about some of the partnerships that the Hispano Chamber had that's so instrumental in helping you fulfill your mission. Talk some more about those.
Well, there's 2 in particular I'd like to chat about. One's called Avanzar, is the new name of the program. It's a joint effort sponsored by the U.S. Hispano Chamber of Commerce with Wells Fargo and ourselves and the Latin American Chamber in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Okay.
So you see, we're bringing in resources from around the country. That what's being brought together is a series of cohorts, businesses in those local communities. The intention is to help them scale their business. So you're looking at businesses that have been in Albuquerque for some time. How do I take that step to be larger, to be broader, in however they want to define that?
Right.
So it's a 1-year commitment. They do classes once a month. We're starting now in March, and we're going to go through all the facets of how do you build a business. And the nice part about it is you're with 10 other businesses from not just in Albuquerque, but around the country.
Yes.
Right? So you get to share ideas. You get to share your perspectives. And I may be having a problem that I think is unique to me. I'm going to find out somebody in Charlotte's having the same problem. How did you solve it? So that builds that community, right? Now we all kind of grow from that. So I think that's a fabulous approach. It was really an honor that the U.S. Hispano Chamber chose us as one of the pilots for this. If it goes well, their plan is to kind of broaden this whole program out through chambers around the country.
So how does that problem administered? Do you use like Zoom or go to meetings, something to kind of build that, or do you have some in person? How if you're in that program, how does that work?
You're going to have local trainers,
Yeah.
and then some of that is going to be broadcast via either Skype or some of those
Right.
other meeting situations. But
Yeah.
again, it's that networking across borders, I'll call it.
Right.
Right, that becomes the important part there. So you get to meet some colleagues that you wouldn't have met otherwise.
Yes.
A real important piece. The second one, and not everybody understands how do I maneuver the whole federal procurement process, right? And there's many small businesses in Albuquerque that can take advantage of what's out at either at Sandia Labs or Kirtland Air Force Base. But you got to understand how do you manipulate the system? How do you work it to get where you need to be? We've put together a program to educate folks on procurement at the federal level, and there's two positives here. One, it gets people familiar with the process, but two, it forces them to go out and create partnerships, because you can't, if you're a small business, do some of these contracts on your own.
It might take 2 or 3 businesses working together.
Exactly. But once I understand the process, now I know who to go partner with and who go approach to help everybody, because these federal contracts are looking for either minority vendors or some sort of broader diversity in their vendor pool, and Albuquerque offers that, but you got to understand the process.
Yeah.
So that particular group is housed at the chamber, and we're putting together a program right now to advance that whole education component. I think those are 2 critical pieces as we move forward.
All right, now we're going to assume that everybody's been to the Hispano Chamber, but if they haven't, tell us about your facility. I think it qualifies as campus. It's very nice, and it's in a very interesting historic part of town.
Well, it's down in the Morelos section of Albuquerque. It's accolades to my predecessors and our former chair, Alex Romero, who worked diligently for years to both build the facility and pay it off. So we know we have no debt on that facility at all. It's right down off, 4th and basically just north of Cesar Chavez.
Yes.
It's a gorgeous facility. We've got training rooms there. We've got our meeting facilities are there. We've got a computer lab that's located in that facility, along with some more extensive training opportunities. All of that is available to our membership. So if you've got a meeting that you're planning, if you need some space, call the chamber. We can help facilitate those meetings for you. If you need to train some folks in a computer lab situation, again, we can help either create some training for you or help you facilitate what training you've got to take on. So it's just a gorgeous facility. Wally, I don't know if you were at our most recent event, the Gala, our La Noche Encantada.
Yes.
So if you entered that evening, you saw a rather large rock that had been carved with a calavera on it. That now got moved onto the chamber site. So it welcomes folks as you come into our facilities.
Oh.
It's just gorgeous.
All right, fantastic.
So, done by a local firm here in town.
Well, the other thing that a lot of people don't like about coming downtown is parking, and your facility has parking around back that a lot of people don't know, a pretty good sized lot, and the on-street parking is good. I've never had a problem getting parking there. That's one of those things that as much as we want to be a carless society here in Albuquerque, that ain't the case. So you can actually find a place to park if you're going to an event there.
Absolutely, yeah. Easy to get into, easy to get out of.
All right. Now, there's what's being called like a business startup or entrepreneurial culture. There's a lot of organizations that are doing similar things. How are you fitting into that? Because one of the things I've sensed is that certain organizations are bristling a little with the newcomers. I have not sensed that with you guys, but how do you, there's groups like ABQID, others that are doing a lot of things. How do you feel like you fit into that structure in terms of either formal partnerships or just being part of the big scene collaboratively wise to help businesses in New Mexico?
Well, what you may not know is the largest entrepreneurial group in the country are female Hispanics, Latinas.
Okay, yes.
They represent the largest component of entrepreneurs in the nation.
Yeah.
So that's important because we're seeing a lot of those young women here in Albuquerque trying to take that next step. How do I get more involved? We've got a program called Emprendedores, which is taught in Spanish to traditional speaking Spaniards, right? And Hispanics that have come up and English is not their first language. And so the effort is, how do you educate that group to really create their own businesses? And so it's to your point, we're embracing that whole group, saying there's a lot of commerce and opportunity here. We need to bring them into the chamber, let them know that these resources exist, and then help them in their native language understand, how do I get better at what I'm doing? So it's not in competition with anybody. Again, our view is, let's make the pie bigger, let's make this commerce area larger, and everybody grows proportionately. So it's really an inclusive kind of perspective. We've got some members on our board that are millennials that are really focused on this. They have a real interest in, how do you include this growing population of entrepreneurs, and how do we get them connected both with our chamber as well as the Albuquerque chamber? Because there's resources on both sides.
Yes.
So again, it's having that conversation, it's being inclusive. It's not saying, I don't help, if you're not Hispanic, we don't help you. That's not the case. If you want to grow a business, come see us. We're here to help. And so I think it's that inclusivity that really kind of generates a lot of this, and a focus that we've always had.
Well, and I really appreciate that. The last I checked, Drangmeister wasn't a Spanish surname, but every time I've done things with the Hispano Chamber, and I've done many over the years, that is a very open, inclusive aspect of it. And, I do think the focus is small business, although it's fantastic you have some of these programs in Spanish, other things that maybe wouldn't happen otherwise.
Correct.
Now,
by the way, we could test you and see if you're perhaps a little Spanish here. You've been around a long time.
Well, and people don't know that my grandfather was actually born in Mexico. So, his father was a mining prospector during the times of Pancho Villa, and he was born in a tent in northern Sonora. So, having said that, it was still mas gringo, as we say in Silver City growing up. So.
Hey, I did want to say U.S. Bank has been a sponsor of the high school program here in the championships for years. So if you haven't had a chance to come on out, watch these kids. It's just a fabulous time, a great time of the year to be here at the pit.
Well, and, Dennis, it's not an accident that U.S. Bank is involved with the Hispano Chamber, involved with the state tournament. You have a very small business, strong program. Do you want to say a few words about that? Because, it's one of those, I actually am a customer, and I became that before you became my friend, but it's been fantastic. Just talk about some of the services you have.
Again, Wally, I think it goes back to that inclusivity perspective, right? We don't want to exclude or not look at anyone who has an opportunity to grow a business. So the perspective is one, we might be a national organization, but we've got a homegrown perspective. We understand what it takes to do business in Albuquerque. And we have services and programs that can help you, whether it's getting a small loan, a credit card, you need something on the cash management side. We've got that full breadth of products, but it's really getting to know you, what you need, and how do we position our products to make you successful. It's not an issue of I've sold you now another widget. That's not what we're about.
Yes.
If you're looking for that, that's not us. We want a relationship, we want to grow with you, and we want to make you successful. So we take that perspective, and a bank now becomes one of your assets as you continue to move forward, and that's where we try to position ourselves. We want to be that asset, that partner in your growth, like your CPA.
All right. Yes.
That's our perspective. So it's in my mind, it's much more open. We're willing to talk about a variety of things, and if we understand where you're going, we can probably help you as you get there. So that's the difference.
All right. Fantastic. All right. So before we close out the show, any final thoughts with regard to if somebody is in business, thinking of being in business, and they haven't been exposed to the Hispano Chamber, what would be a good way to get involved with your organization? Check it out, see what's going on down there.
I invite everybody to come down to the chamber and just take a tour.
Okay.
Get to know the staff. Ernie Citabaca is our CEO down there. He'd happily give you some time and give you an education of what we're all about. We've got a number of monthly events. That calendar's on our website. You're welcome to attend many of those and just get a feel for who we are.
Okay.
But moreover, reach out to the board members. There's a whole list of us on our chamber website. Reach out to any of the board members to get a better insight of what the chamber's about and how it can help you.
Okay.
They have a real perspective and they have a real dedication to what we're doing. So huge resources. You just got to take the time to kind of reach out and find out where we are and how to connect.
Okay, Will, that has been a fantastic conversation with my good friend Dennis Garcia, Albuquerque Hispano Chamber, U.S. Bank here live from Dreamstyle Arena. If they want to check you out, what is the website? It's a final quiz.
The U.S. Bank website is easy.
All right, usbank.com.
If you're looking for the Hispano Chamber, it's the Albuquerque Hispano Chamber of Commerce.com.
All right, very good.
Us there.
Thank you very much. Sure
you,
appreciate it.
It's been a pleasure.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.